Welcome to the Training Ground Guru podcast in association with Genius Sports. In every episode, we bring you insights into the teams behind the teams in professional football. Coming up on today's episode.
So I'm surprised that no one realized it would take time.
My idea was not to change everything. No, it's impossible. I'm not stupid to come and to change everything. No, the idea was to step by step bring something new or something different. It happens the way it happens. But again, it was the idea. That's why I went there.
I'm Simon Austin from Training Ground Guru, and our guest on this episode is Wilfried Nancy, in his very first interview since being sacked by Celtic in January. The Frenchman built a reputation as one of the most innovative coaches in the world during 4 seasons in the MLS. He won the MLS Cup with Columbus Crew in 2023 and was named MLS Coach of the Year a season later. However, he lasted just 33 days at Celtic, the shortest managerial reign in the club's long history. In this interview, Nancy told me why things went wrong during his turbulent tenure in Glasgow and about his ambitions for the future. We hope you enjoy this episode, and if you do, please give us a follow via your preferred podcast provider. Thank you very much for joining us on the podcast, Wilfried.
Hi, Simon. I'm happy to be here.
Where are you speaking to us from today?
In Columbus. Because my family is here and I have 2 kids. They go to school, and also I like Columbus with my house and everything. So it was the easiest way to come back.
Is that where your family has stayed, even when you're in the UK?
Yes, they were here because my kids, go to school in Columbus. So that's why we are still here.
And what have you been up to for the last few months?
Listen, it's been interesting. I cannot complain about my life as a coach, but I can tell you that now I have a normal life, I would say, because I do simple things, normal things like taking care of my family, spend time with my family. I have a new job also. I like to say that I am an Uber driver for my kids. Because with all the activities and also the school, and I try also to help my wife. And now simple life, and also take care of myself. Try to do certain things that I didn't have the time to do, when I was working. So honestly, it's a blessing of disguise because since 2010, I didn't stop. It's good for me also to step back a bit, to recharge everything and to go for the next project.
Does it take a while to recharge and recover after an experience like Celtic? Because I was thinking it must have felt a little bit like being beaten up, really, by a lot of people.
Yes, listen. First of all, it was the first time, so I knew. This is the first thing that I told my family and my wife when I became a coach. I told them that now it's beautiful to be a coach, but you have to understand that we don't know where we're going to live. We're going to travel, and also sometimes I'm going to be good, sometimes I'm going to be bad, and I might be fired or not. I don't know. So we were ready for that. We know that something like this could happen. This is part of my job, so I have no issue with that. Obviously, for my ego, it could be difficult, but at the same time, everything happened for a reason. I didn't know what to do, simple as that, because I knew that I had a lot of time in front of me. So despite the fact that to help my family and to do certain things at home and so on, but I cut everything. I just wanted to shut down everything and spend time to read, to discover new things. And I would say after two months, I decided to go back, to football, because I miss that, and also I want to take advantage of my situation, so that's why I try to discover new things, to read a lot, to watch a lot, certain things and so on. So yeah, try to learn more.
I would imagine it could affect your confidence quite a lot, what happened. So did it make you question yourself at all?
Not at all. We like to say, or we win or we learn, but I like to say also, when we win or when we lose, we learn. And for me, this is the way I am as a person. And obviously, when I win game, when I won the title, with Columbus, my mind was the same to try to get better for the future. And obviously, the what happened in Celtic didn't finish the way I wanted, obviously. So, like I said in the beginning, it's true that with my ego, I was like, oh, what's wrong? What did I miss? Or this is normal question that we ask ourselves. But the way I am as a person is, it's easy to ask this kind of question. But the way I am as a person, it's when I take a decision, I know why I decided. Because I am, it could be a quality or a default, but I like to take my time, regarding a decision. And for me, it was difficult. Yes, it's totally normal because when I win, I'm happy, but it depends the performance that we have. And when we lose, sometimes I can be not happy a lot because I like everybody. We don't like to lose, but I respect the defeat. And this is the way I see things. So, this is a new journey. This is something new for me because I've been in different clubs where coaches have been fired. So I know what it is, but when you feel it, obviously it's not the same. But I am at peace with myself regarding what happened, and that's why I can take it in a good way.
And how do you reflect on your time there now when you look back?
Oh, honestly, it was a beautiful experience because first of all, the passion. I do my job with passion, and that's why I love my job. And I'm looking for a player who will play with passion. And obviously, this club and the fans and the city, we can feel it, and it's been amazing for that. And obviously, things could have been better, but again, I think that life is about moment, and I think that the moment when I went there with reflection maybe was not the good moment. Because the Celtic brand, this is something that I like a lot. That's why I wanted to go over there. Despite the fact that I had many opportunities with a lot of humility with different clubs, but I decided to go there because the history of the club and so on. But after that, before getting there, I knew that it could be difficult regarding, the schedule, how many games that they played before me, how many games that we have to play when I'm going to get there, the injury players. So that's why I put everything into perspective. But again, after that, the pressure is the pressure, and they change their mind. But again, I spent really, really good time over there. Obviously, I didn't have enough time to put, especially the way I coach, the way I do things. But yeah, this is the way it is. But again, I have no bad words regarding, what happened over there. This is about, it's part of my journey, I would say.
And it must have been nice going back to Columbus, not only to be reunited with your family again, but also because it's somewhere that you achieved a huge amount of success.
Yes, people are exceptional with me, outstanding, so as soon as I put my feet back in Columbus, they hug me, they encourage me, they were really grateful, they are really grateful with me. And obviously this is the story that we made together. So I feel at peace here. That's why I'm happy to be here, and we'll see where the future will move me and my family.
Because perhaps people in the UK didn't know a lot about you when you first came over, but you won the MLS Cup with Columbus, so they're the first black coach to do that. You were Coach of the Year 2024. I saw Giorgio Chiellini. He described you as fantastic and the maestro, the great Italy player. So you really did make a name for yourself as a coach at that club.
Yes, and it was funny, a certain moment funny. I don't know if this is a good word, but when I was doing the media, when I was at Celtic, they were talking to me like I did nothing, But again, this is something, the challenge that I had, and this is something that I really embrace because, again, despite everything that you just described, Uh, um, we went also on a final, the Champions League final, so we played against a big team in Mexico, and when we play in Mexico, this is so difficult because there is also the altitude and the level is really, really good too. And we played in front of 60,000 people, and the passion in Mexico is similar as in Europe. So I've been there. I knew, what I wanted to do, and I knew what I did, and I'm really pleased with what I did.
I was just listening earlier on actually to Hertzler at Brighton, and he was talking about how they look at the performances ahead of the results, because then the performances will lead to the results eventually. Yeah. But if you just look at the results, you can make some bad decisions and be very, very short term. And I know Brentford are the same as well with this.
Yeah. Yes, I am a big believer on that. And that's why sometimes people can think that I am a philosophical person. Because again, it's been proven that, and the fact that I won, I know what I'm talking about regarding this, because when you don't win something major, you talk, but you don't really know. But after that, we are all different. But for me, process, it's a consequence of the outcome. I cannot control the outcome. Again, all the process for me, this is most important, because the outcome will come regarding how we're going to act, how you're going to behave to maximize your chance to win games. But even though you do that, you can have good behavior, good way of doing things, but you can hit the post 5 times and you don't win. So what does it mean? It means that you did a bad game? But again, people is going to say that if you don't win, you fail. But I don't see it like this, because there is only one winner. And after that, what does it mean for the other people? So understand me well. Different clubs have different objectives, yes. But at the same time, it's funny to say and to listen people when they talk about, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win. But everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win. This is not the like I like to say, the today we are together talking, so you prepare yourself to ask me the question. So it means that you want to be good, you want to win. So for me, this is useless to talk all the time about this. But the day to day, how we can be vulnerable, how can we be open-minded, how can we get out of your comfort zone? This, if you are able to do it, you maximize your chance to win and you maximize your chance to have good performance. But sometimes people, they don't want to talk about this because there is a bit of fragility behind that. And behind that, we have to understand people. There is background behind each people, each individual. So that's why I like to ask the same question to my players once or twice per year. What is the definition of success for you? And sometimes you can be surprised that this is not about title. It could be, yes, I need money to feed my family. I need to have also a good moment with people around me. And obviously there is title. But like I like to say, you have to understand the context, the environment, and so on. So that's why for me, when people talk about, say, yes, I want to win, yeah, tell me more.
Yeah.
Tell me more, So the player, Cucho Hernandez, he plays for Betis Sevilla now, Real Betis. And one day he was upset and he told me that, yeah, coach, when I don't win, I want to die. So I said, so don't try to do, I'm going to show you certain things that you can stay alive if you do it. But if you don't do it, you're going to die. So again, we can control certain things. And what we control is how we do things, our performance, and also the mindset. Because sometimes people, they want to have the perfection, Perfection doesn't exist for me. Because when you are looking for perfection, you prepare your brain that when you get a bad moment, I don't know if, so for me, I like it's excellence, standards. And because of the standards and because of the excellence, you're going to be able to reach certain things. So again, this is about terminology, but for me, there is a lot of nuances regarding, this.
I agree with what you say there, but it just seems to me Rangers and Celtic, they are clubs where you have to win straight away. There's not many other teams like that in the world, really, where there's that expectation that you have to win every game.
Yeah, but again, this is why the narrative could be different. Everybody likes to create their own story. I want to win. If I don't win, I got to be fired. So understand me well. It was the same in Columbus. This is the same when I compete, every day to do something, or I call it the joy of competing. So, yes, Celtic, Rangers, or Manchester City, or all the clubs, there is different categories of club: relegation, mid-table, and title. No problem with that. I am on the same page. But again, this is not the topic to talk about this every day. Stop talking. Show. This is my point. It's easy to say I want to win, but I can tell you many, many examples that people said they want to win, but they didn't want to do certain things. So I'm sorry. So you don't want to win.
Yeah.
So this is the nuance. That's why for me, understand me well. When I don't win, as a coach, as a person, nobody likes to lose. I'm sorry, but nobody likes to lose. Because when you lose, there is a lot of emotion who comes. You can talk bad to yourself. You can put yourself down. You can be less confident and so on and so on. No problem with that. But there is also, you can balance with the way that you're going to be as a person. And it's not because I'm going to say I want to win every day that I'm going to win. Sorry my language, but this is bullshit. So this is about what do you do to do it? And this, I am extremely, extremely, extremely demanding with that, with the attitude, with the behavior. And for me, this is, especially on the pitch, because there is many players in my job that they like to say that they want to win, but when this is difficult on the pitch, they don't show. They don't ask the ball. They don't want to make a mistake. Because if I make a mistake, it's going to be on me. But we don't do individual sport, we do a professional sport. And for me, I see good team, and when they act, when this is difficult, and you know that better than me. Everybody knows that. But for me, when you are in the arena, show me that you're going to win. Easy to talk to the media, easy to talk to practice well and so on. But now with the pressure, show. And sometimes they don't show. And understand me well. Me, also as a coach, I have to face the pressure. And sometimes it's not easy, but I have to face it. And I'm not saying that I am the king of that. No, I have also weakness and qualities like everyone, But again, I try to get better and better and better. But I don't like people when they say something, but they don't try to do everything to achieve it.
Is it fair to say that your tactics and your style of play are very ambitious, though? Because I've read quite a lot of quotes from your former players saying they learned a lot from you and new things. And we had a guy called Jamie Hamilton on the podcast, who's a tactician and a coach. And he was saying you're one of the most interesting coaches in the world, he thought, with your tactics.
No, thank you.
Was it always going to take the players quite a while to adapt to that ambitious style of play?
Listen, obviously with what happened, at Celtic, it's easy to say that I need players and so on, but not at all, I think that the way I see football is about connection. It's about, I remember when I was playing, when I was with my friends outside, I didn't know sometimes, few players because everybody was coming to play. So after 1 or 2 or 3 minutes, I was able to see that this guy likes to do that. So maybe I'm going to give him the ball in this way. Or maybe he's not so good at, this is not his strength to defend. So maybe I'm going to help him a little bit more. That's why connection for me is more important than everything, So the way I think about football is a way of living, So because I cannot dissociate players and human being. So that's why the style of play that I have is about being audacious, being brave, with a lot of nuances, but also express yourself. And the fine margin that I try to get with my players is, yes, I can give you a structure regarding how we want to play, but within the structure, I want to see your creativity. And what does it mean, creativity? If we play together, Simon, maybe, I don't know, between small spaces, you're going to be better than me. So, and me, when I have more space, I'm going to be good. So I try to create this kind of structure for my players to express themselves.
Because Jamie's talked a lot about relationism, so the relation of the players to the ball, and he likes combinations and things like that, whereas the sort of Guardiola style traditionally was the more positionism, where players hold fixed positions, pin other players with their positions. Mm-hmm. So are you kind of more close to that relational idea that Jamie talks about?
I do both. Right. Because when we watch game of Guardiola now, we evolved also. Because in the past, he wanted to have all the time players high and wide, and was the winger. But now they can come inside and there is more rotation. And the rotation was still there with Guardiola, but in a certain way. Now, when I watch game in Brazil or in Argentina, there is less structure, in terms of position. This is more about, okay, they're going to play with more individual players and how they're going to connect together. So me, I call it the minestrone soup. I do both. In the past, I was a positional play coach, but within that, I add relation between players. Because for me, the most important, like I told you before, is the connection between four players. I am a big believer of that. Not three players, it's four players. Why four players? Because four players, for me, this is a kind of diamond. And why I like the diamond is because the diamond gave me the possibility to look forward as soon as possible. And why I like four players? Because if the four players, they know how to run together, they're going to be able to move and to rotate at any moment and be able to defend with a good structure at the same time. So that's why for me, it's more about the connection with 3, 4, 5, 6 players around the ball. And after that, how are we going to be able to do that? But for them to understand that, we need a bit of positional play for me. Just for them to see the structure. Because creativity, for me, you need a structure. Just for them to understand what they have to do and when they have to do it and how they have to do it. And after that, once they understand that, now I want you to move together because our reference is the ball. And after that, it's going to be your teammate and the space and the time that you're going to get. But within that, there is many concepts. That's why I like to talk about time and not space. How you can create time for yourself or how you can create time for your teammate to be able to have a good execution. So what does it mean? It means that sometimes, let's say we play, you are the defender and I play a 2v1. So I like to define time and not space because if I have the ball and I try to attack you, the more I'm going to attack you, maybe you will come towards me. Means that I'm going to create time for my teammate. So I'm going to give the ball to my teammate and now he's going to have the time to see and to play and to execute well. So now, if I don't have the time, with the ball, I'm going to give the ball right away. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why for me, it's all about time and how you can create this time or not. Do I give the ball right away because I have the pressure? Or do I keep the ball and I go forward because I can attack the first line of pressure or the second line of pressure? So when my players are able to understand this, I don't have to tell them to play with 1 or 2 and 10 touches. It's going to depend about the opposition. So combination can be in. The give and go can be in. Drive can be in. Stop the ball can be in. Play 2 pass back in a row can be in. Because there is a purpose behind that. How can we create time and how we can keep the time edge to attack the box? So that's why for me, this is kind of concept that I like. And I go back to Jamie, what he said in the beginning, in terms of rotationism. I don't call it like this, but I did that since the beginning. Why? Because when I was a professional player, I was not fast. So right, I needed my other teammates to help me to attack the box. So that's why for me, connection, relation, talk to me a lot. Because of my background. So that's why for me, how we can manipulate the opposition is really important for me if we need to do it when the block is really tight, because I am a big believer on that. So that's why I'm going to create this kind of structure for my players to help them to express themselves and to break down a low block or mid block or high block.
Everyone is looking for a new edge. To find it, you need fresh perspectives. Our sponsor, Genius Sports, uses advanced AI, unique mesh tracking data, and tactical video to help analysts and coaches see and understand the game from every possible angle. This includes player POVs from the 3D recreation tool that sits within their performance studio, already being used by top clubs in the Premier League, Ligue 1, Pro League, and more. Genius pairs football's most extensive tracking dataset ever with multiple automatically synced video angles for the fastest, smartest insights. Join the world's top clubs and find your new edge today. Learn more at www.geniussports.com/TGG.
Do you find though that players often like to have structure because it means then they're not having to take responsibility themselves?
Perfect. Really good question. Really good question. Like I said in the beginning, we are all different. And positional play give us safety.
Yeah.
I am in my position. I know that I'm going to wait for the ball. And if they don't give me the ball, it's going to be the other player that is fault. I am exaggerating a bit, Sometimes people, they take this for granted. So I had discussion with many players at certain moments when also I was in Celtic. They wanted to know, I have the ball. So let's say my number 6 has the ball. So I want to know if we play with the 4-3-3 with 3 guys in the middle. So I want to know that the name of my number 8 on the right side should be there. I want to see that the 8 of mine on the left side should be here. And I want to see my number 10 in this position. And I said, yeah, okay, this gives you safety. But I don't mind about the name. I mind about how you're going to connect with the players around you. And this sometimes could be difficult with people who doesn't want to get out of their comfort zone. They're struggling a bit with that. Because no, coach, I want to play the 1-touch, 2-touch football. No. Sometimes you have to take 10 touches. Yeah, but I'm not confident with that. So this is my job to show them video, picture of themselves on the pitch, discussion, create exercise and create environment for them to express and to try things and to show them that it works. Because again, there's the little voice behind you saying that, hey, if I try this, if I fail, it's going to be on you. People is going to say that you made a mistake. So that's why it's going beyond winning. The way I see football going beyond winning is how you can understand what do you have to do by connected with people. And sometimes it could be easy for me. I like to say that to my player. Guys, you know what? Today is going to be 1 touch or 2 touch. And if you are not able to play 1 touch or 2 touch, this is not good. But no, I'm sorry. This is not football. Because nowadays, teams are more compact. So sometimes, the number 6 or the center back is going to have to drive the ball and to have 10 touches. Sometimes you're going to have to pause to stop the ball. And this is a concept that has been many, many years, many 10 years, 20 years, 30 years that in Brazil, in South America, that they do it a lot, to pause, to stop the ball. But why do you stop the ball? But when we play futsal, I played futsal when I was young, it's a really, really good tool. Because when you pause, you freeze the opposition. And when you freeze the opposition, you give time to your teammate to move. So this is another concept that sometimes this is not so common to do it. So when you propose this for a few players, they're going to say, no, I don't do that. I cannot do that. Me, I am a center back. I have to release the ball quicker. Yeah, but when you move the ball side to side, understand me well, I do it with 1 or 2 touch. Team is going to move side to side. And I believe that this is easier for the opposite team to defend side to side. But the most difficult thing in football is to disrupt lines. And how you can disrupt line is to engage the first line. And to engage the first line, you have to attack the first line. And sometimes you have to, as a center back, sometimes you have to go in the middle because you have to make run in diagonal. You have to get out of your position. But I've been with players that they told me that, no, I don't do that. But after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they understood why do we do what we do. And sorry my language, but they fucking enjoy. Because it's not about playing safe. It's playing football. So that's why for me, what you said, I was wrong, sorry, but this is so important. This is so important. So profile of player, yes, obviously is really important. But again, I think that sometimes players that don't want to do things, they put themselves down more than they can do. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So, in terms of, I try to convince them that, guys, don't think like this. You can do it. And as soon as you're going to understand the cues, you're going to be able to do it in a better way.
You used that word there, time, and I was thinking about that word quite a lot because there was going to need to be a change of culture, wasn't there, I think, to have this different mindset? Because I spoke to Russell Martin, who I know, who's been on the podcast, who we could come on to later, but he was talking a lot about players having fear, and he had fear when he was a player. He said he didn't want to make a mistake. He didn't want to do anything that he wasn't told to do. He felt a lot of pressure. So you're telling players to play without fear, really, aren't you? And use more instincts and intuition, but that's going to take time to implement that.
I don't ask players to play without fear. Fear is here. We cannot change that. It's a part of emotion. No. Right. So fear, to be fear of something is totally normal because again, our ancestors were hunting to survive, and they were hiding to survive. So this is part of us as a human being. When you do something that is really counts for you, that you have a bit of a fear, it's totally normal. So my narrative I don't talk about this. I'm talking about
freedom? Would it be more freedom, possibly?
Way of doing things. Because sometimes they've been brainwashing to do certain things, but there is other way to do it. Especially because football changed. Now this is a man-to-man everywhere. So the positional play could be difficult. I'm giving you an example.
Yeah.
So if you play a positional play and you face a team with a man-to-man, good luck.
Yeah.
You have to do extra things. And when I was a player, I was a professional player also. I had fear also regarding certain things. I can share with you that sometimes I was afraid. I had a lot of pressure, from my coaches and so on. So I was simulating injury to not playing. So I know what I'm talking about. So what I try to convince my players is emotions are here. You cannot play without emotion. It's totally normal. Human being is emotion. But how you can be excited by doing certain things. And again, what I've learned when I was in Scotland, I travel a lot. I saw so many games. I have many friends who played high level. They told me that the pressure is difficult to cope with. So I know pressure. No problem with that. But at the same time, the environment is so critical. It's so important. So it's true that I wanted to help my players, when I was working with Celtic. And I had an idea. I wanted to shut down Sky News. I did not want, and this is a discussion that I had with a few people over there within the club. When you come in the facility, you have the TV open and you have Sky News. And unconsciously, you understand my English? I am a French, don't judge me. You get information. You get pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure. So it was not to be on the pitch. I was not talking on the pitch, because on the pitch you're going to do what they need to do. But when the results are good, yes, but when the results are bad, and you come in and it should be a safe environment, and you have news talking about these players were not good. These coaches were not good. And I think that you should have done this. And you think that you should have done that. So that's why this job is fucking difficult. Not as a coach. I'm talking about the player. As a coach, yes, but I'm talking for the players. So that's why for me, the safe environment is really important. And when I talk about safe environment, it's about joy of competing. This is not like say a yes man. No. I'm gonna practice kind honesty with you. I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna support you, but I'm gonna challenge you. But I'm gonna play with the leverage and with, more challenge, or more support. And for me, this is something that is really important. And Guardiola said it recently. He was telling people why he loves City. Because Manchester City, because the people within the club, the way they treat people, the way they try to they know they have a lot of pressure, but at the same time, they try also to balance the pressure with something different. So that's why for me pressure is here. When you do something that counts for you, you have pressure. But at the same time, you have to be good to challenge your players and to help them to achieve and to face adversity. And sometimes facing adversity, this is so difficult. This is too difficult for a few people.
I'm an outsider with Glasgow, but the club seem to me, I would say, very conservative. So the way the managers usually dress, the style of play, the clubs have a lot of history, the environments. It seems conservative to me, both the clubs. So was it not obvious that it was going to take you quite a lot of time to change the culture and implement your methods? I'm surprised that no one realized it would take time.
No, again.
But they didn't give you any time, sir.
They hire me for that, to change that.
but it needs time.
Simple as that. That's why I went there.
Yeah.
That's why I went there. Because again, I'm not a conservative coach. And again, understand me well. I'm not here to criticize anybody. Every coaches are different, and I respect that. You can win by being conservative. You know, like I like to say, Mourinho, apparently it was a defensive coach, but he won title. This is one of the most title coach in the world. And Guardiola, apparently this is an offensive coach, and he won title too. So understand me well. The debate is not on that. But I've been hired for that. So, and we had a plan. And everything was clear. And because I did also my due diligence. But again, after that, pressure we still had everything in our hands, you know, to change things and to adjust things regarding the standings, regarding everything. And my idea was not to change everything. No, it's impossible. I'm not stupid to come and to change everything. No, not at all. The idea was to step by step bring something new or something different. So after that, pressure. That's why pressure is so huge that it happens the way it happens. But again, the idea, it was the idea. That's why I went there.
Yeah. I just wonder, I've never been in those conversations between the board and the new manager, but do you not sit down and say, look, you're going to need some courage here to stick with this because it's maybe going to get difficult, but we need to stick with the plan? Is there not that conversation?
Simon, again, the support that I had with the chairman and everything, everybody over there was huge. No problem with that. You know, no problem with that. So again, but the discussion was there and so on. So again, after that, there is results, and we know that in our job, if we don't have results, it's difficult. I knew that. This is part of my job. So that's why for me, no, everything was clear. Everything was set up. Everything was. We know each other a little bit more. It's been maybe 1 hour that we are talking together, so you can understand the type of person that I am regarding what I want to achieve, regarding what I want to do, and the way I want to do it. So this is not a rocket science to understand the vision and the way I want to do things. So again, we were on the same page, but after that, the result and so on, and the pressure and the perspective change. But again, I have no problem with that. This is. Football sometimes is irrational, I would say. So obviously it's a no-brainer that I didn't have enough time. We know that. But again, now the idea is to learn from that, is to move forward and to embrace my new journey that I'm going to get, because I am more confident than anything, but I am also humble, knowing that in our job, you have to be confident, because as a leader, if you are not confident, don't do this job. But at the same time, I have to be also humble that this is part of my journey, and I am at peace with that. That's why, you know, we discussed in the past together regarding the index of performance, you know, KPI.
Yeah. Yes.
And this is something that why I am at peace with myself regarding every club that I went, Montreal, Columbus, and Celtic. Obviously, it's going to be the same also in the future, is because I am really demanding for myself and my staff. But also, I like also it's a job with a lot of pressure, and I love it. I embrace that, because I believe that in life, if you don't have challenges, it's boring. So I love it. No problem with that. But at the same time, you have to be pragmatic. And the KPI for me gives me the answer regarding where we are, where we want to go, and what did we do. And I like to see the trend and the coherence. So that's why for me, my last club helped me with the KPI regarding my last club, helped me to avoid to be crazy and to be in total panic regarding everything. No, because we had good performance. But after that, we were not consistent. we could have won so many games. We know that. And I'm not a fan of should have, could have, and so on. But regarding the KPI that we had the possibility to have fact regarding what we wanted to do and the way we wanted to do. And when we won the title in MLS, it's crazy because the second year, we didn't win the title. We finished second, but we had better data than the first year. And we didn't win. So that's why, this kind of KPI for me helps me, to understand what we need to improve, what we did well, but also help me also to discuss with ownership, to discuss with the staff, to discuss with the players, to be factual regarding certain things, knowing that I am a big believer on eyes, new eyes, fresh eyes. Data is an addition of context, but at the same time, we can have tools to bring more tranquility, regarding the fire that we can have, in our job.
Yeah, definitely. And I was interested, actually, I spoke to Russell Martin a couple of weeks ago, and I said to him I was doing the podcast with you, and he said, I know, because I'm in touch with Wilfried, and he said he'd reached out to you. So I found that very interesting that you were Rangers and Celtic manager, but you ended up being friends by the sounds of it.
Yes, first of all, Ross, I respect him obviously as a person, but also as a coach. What he did, with Southampton, has been amazing, especially when he was in the Premier League, because I remember games that he played in a certain way. And yeah, he has a way to see football that I like. So, we have also proximity regarding that, I think. And after that, it's a weird story together and funny story together because we were coach, together with Glasgow and Celtic and we didn't, succeed over there. So, but again, doesn't mean that we are not good or not bad or good or bad. Means that this is part of our journey and we're gonna see next.
I was reading up on your background actually in your childhood. So you grew up in Le Havre, is that right? And then I was reading You moved about a lot because your dad was in the French Navy.
Yes.
So what was that like? Because I had a similar thing, moving about a lot, but just within England, maybe not as far afield as you did.
The fact that I travel a lot helped me to understand more people, the culture, different culture, and to have more empathy, with people. This is difficult to teach that. You have to feel it, you have to live it. So that's why for me, the job that I do now, as a leader, the fact that I travel a lot helped me, to manage the people that I work with. So that's why for me, there is a keyword, is a vulnerability, because the hierarchy, yes, I am confident enough to I don't mind about the hierarchy. I mind about what kind of environment that I'm going to put, with the people that I work with. And to do that, you have also to understand that people will think in a different way than you. You have to understand that people will act in a different ways and so on. But you cannot be offended by that. And the fact that I travel a lot helped me to size up this kind of situation and also to lead with their mindset. And for me, this is so important to do it like that because I believe that we all have uniqueness, we all have expertise, and we should be able to show our expertise. So that's why it's been really, really, really good for me to travel. And hopefully in my career, I want to do the same. And I did the same also as a player, but this is so important, so important.
Yeah. Interesting. What places did you live in then when you were a child?
So I I lived to Martinique. This is, in West Indies. Sorry, I was looking for the name in English. Guadeloupe, La Réunion, Madagascar. Because my dad was traveling a lot, and we had to stay with the French, community, I would say. And with La Marine, the name was La Marine, when it was where I was traveling. So that's why we travel a lot like this.
Can it make you feel a bit of an outsider? Because I think I had that a bit as a child, moving like every 2 years with my dad.
Yes.
You can feel an outsider when you go somewhere new and a new school.
Yes, totally. I agree with that. And this is something that I try also to do with my kids, and so that's why it was really interesting for me to see how they behaved, when we came here, because it was the first time Montreal to Columbus. And obviously they struggled in the beginning, but step by step they adjusted, and nowadays and today they are able to speak English fluently. They discover new culture and so on. So that's why for me this is so important. And this, I'm sorry, but I'm going back to football. This is a link with my style of play.
I think some people thought you were rigid, didn't they? They said you were rigid and like stuck with the 3 centre backs, for example. And
that's why people didn't do their homework. All the team that I had, yes, we defended with a back 3, but sometimes it was a back 4, and sometimes it was a back 5. And when we attack with sometimes a back 2, a back 3, a back 4, a back 1. So it was never the same. But I didn't have a lot of time, and I didn't want to change certain things. So that's why I stayed with something simple for the moment. But my football is not about rigidity, not at all. People who say that, they don't know me, or they didn't do their due diligence. Because I am a big believer of adjustment, but not adjustment for the sake of adjusting, because yes, when I prepare a game, I watch the opposition. Really important for me. I am a bit of old school. There is also my staff doing it, but I like also to watch minimum 3 games. If we play away, it's going to be 3 games away and 1 game at home. And because I need to see certain things, and we got to focus on us. But after that, I'm going to adjust certain things. So that's why people who face me, again, with a lot of humility, coaches, I'm talking about my peers, told the press or the media that it's difficult to play against my team, because they don't know how we're going to attack. But again, I needed to be pragmatic with my last club. So that's why people said that. But again, I'm not here to say anything about this. This is their perspective. But I'm not at all. I'm not like this at all. And again, I don't like to change for the sake of changing, no, but I like to attack in a different way, because everything, change in a certain way. And for me, the future of football, and again, with a lot of humility, I did it in Columbus. There is no real position.
did you feel like you were getting dehumanized a little bit? Because I remember a lot of fuss about, number one, the tactics board. And I don't see anything wrong with a tactics board, personally. And the Venn diagram people talked about, again, which I understood the Venn diagram, I think was on social media, was it? Something like that?
First of all, perspective is everything. I don't mind what people are going to say, because they see one side of me, they don't know me as a person, But again, the job that we do, everybody can talk. There is no problem. We know that, we have to accept it. Us, we study to become coach, but there is people who likes to talk, but they didn't study to become coach.
Because I saw you followed a training ground guru quite a long time ago, I think.
Exactly. So that's why I learned. That's why I use Twitter to do that, because nowadays this is a massive tool to learn. So no problem with that. So apparently when I had my tactical board, I've been destroyed for that. But again, me, the tactical board, I will use it again because it's a tool, because I am visual. And sometimes when there is emotion, when there is pressure, depending the person that I talk with, it's easier to show him we're going to attack like this. And sometimes because there is a lack of translation, because there is me, I am a French guy, but in France I will use it also. But I mean, there is emotion. So with 3 words and the tactical ball, I can show him you're going to attack here, you're going to defend there. That's it. But now, if people wants to do things about this, I have no problem with that. Do it again. And the second thing that you told me is, honestly, I didn't do it on purpose. And to be honest with you, my wife was not happy with me because she told me that, what did you do? I said, I did nothing. I said, yeah, but you're trending now because you put something on Twitter. I said, I didn't do anything. I just delete, the image that I had because it was the image of Columbus when I was in the dressing room of Columbus. And I just put the image that I have when people calls me on WhatsApp. I think that you saw it. This is the image that I have that I like. Simple as that. And this is the image that I had before.
So you had it on the wall at Columbus, did you, in the changing room?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So that's why, so I deleted, this picture to put a neutral picture that I use every day when people, instead of using a emoji, I use this. And it was a big drama. But again, I don't like to waste time on that. People wanted to do it. They did it and I move forward and that's it. But again, I didn't want to do that. But this is part of the job that I have, and this is part also of the way we have to live with these certain things like that. But again, I move forward.
Yeah. Was it so? One circle was things that are important, was it? And the other circle was things you can control.
Exactly.
So it was like the sweet spot in the middle.
Exactly. But you know me a little bit now. I am exactly like that. I have a big believer on that because. Sometimes we want to control certain things that this is impossible to control it. So focus on what matters. And the fact that you're going to be able to focus on what matters, you're going to feel better. You're going to be more fresh. You're going to have better decision making. You're going to be faster to have decision making. And you're going to be at peace with yourself, knowing that there is also a lot of adversity. And this is why I like this picture, because he represents me.
And the final question was about your ambitions for the future, because I've seen you link with a few jobs. I think L'Oréal in France, I saw you link with. So what do you want to achieve in the rest of your career?
The only thing that I knew that I wanted to become a coach, because I stopped football around 28 years old, and I knew that I would become a coach, but I didn't know when and where. So it's the same now, so obviously, for the moment, it's a transition for me. And, I'm waiting for a project that it could be good for me. I had with a lot of humility, possibility already to come back, but, I didn't feel that it was the good moment for me to do it. So now, I am open to a project and also to discover something new. And also to challenge myself and my staff, and also to learn. So there is all the time people that they're gonna talk. So for the moment, I'm here in Columbus, but I'm eager to go back to do my job. But at the same time, I don't want to rush. But I cannot complain. To be honest with you, I cannot complain regarding the life that I have. And but it's true that. My job is not a job, it's a passion. And so I am open to any kind of project regarding any kind of countries, and to express myself and to enjoy this moment. So we'll see.
Well, fantastic. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Simon. It's been a pleasure to be with you, and all the best for you.
Thank you for listening to the Training Ground Guru podcast in association with Genius Sports. We'll be back next month with another episode.